I'm Coffee Kevin. My guest today is Alana's Coffee's Eric Stogsdill. He has what's a typical origin story in coffee. He started roasting in his garage, then selling beans at LA farmers markets. Alana's Coffee and Cafe is in Mar Vista, which is in West LA. Alana's has a wonderful vintage collection of Chemex coffee makers. Oh, and there's a very cool Volkswagen Collectors Club that meets there on Friday evenings. Eric, how are you doing?
Really well, actually. How are you, Kevin?
Great. I can't, you're outside, aren't you?
Yeah, enjoying a little bit of sunny sunshine over here in California, man. It's kind of 64, 65 right now. We're kind of weird for January.
I'll, you mean weird is, it's to have it that nice, right? I mean,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
No, normally it'd be pretty cold or raining or something by now for sure.
Well,
Awesome.
it's awesome. Yes, that's the word.
It was 85 yesterday.
Wow.
Very hot.
85.
It's
Wow.
63 today, but yeah, 85 yesterday.
I'm impressed. Well, give me fill in the origin story a little bit. I know you started roasting in your garage, but how did you go from there to today?
It was pretty cool, actually. It started out kind of just pirating the back of a little spot. Originally, I was roasting in alleys or anywhere I could and at farmers markets with a little hand crank roaster that I had, but really couldn't produce enough coffee a day. People would usually start buying it out of the roaster and whatnot, so I'd have to kind of camp out and anywhere I could really on a tabletop to get some coffee out prior. But then after that, basically, a friend of mine had noticed that had a pretty big thing going and couldn't produce a lot of coffee. So they bought me a coffee roaster. They got me a IR3 Diedrich. It was really nice. Someone went and drove and got it for me. Put that in the back for a little while and just started kind of doing my thing, doing the farmers markets. It's pretty cool. And then wonderful partner of mine, Erin, she owned the place where I was roasting at and wanted to possibly open up a restaurant or something like that. And I'm like, let's do a coffee roaster. Let's do a coffee
Of
roaster.
course.
And she's, you know what? Let's do a coffee roaster. And that's what it became, man. And about 2 years, pretty painstaking and whatnot. A lot of tears waiting to get open and didn't know if we ever were, but definitely here we are now. And it's been doing really well. Definitely
Fantastic.
well.
Now, you roaster using a Diedrich now, right? I mean, you're still using a Diedrich. When I was there, you're using a Diedrich. So,
Yeah, I upgraded to an IR12 so we can get a little more coffee done for sure.
more than a little more. Yeah, that's cool.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
that's what happens. So, okay. And then when you roasted at home, what one did you use?
IR3. It was an older predecessor, actually. It was called an N7, so it had atmospheric burners, had four little burners with flames instead of an IR paddle that they were genuinely known for. I think they experimented with that in like 97 and 98 and wasn't the greatest thing, so they didn't do it anymore.
Well, now, how did you discover the Chemex?
Man, I've been a pour over freak, kind of by my fingers here. It says pour over. Kind of branded with it. Man, I've been doing pour overs forever. And Chemex, I've always been like, as they say, an old vintage car collector. I like old stuff. And something about the Chemex, I mean, for one, it's awesome. Looks beautiful. And brews the best coffee. Something about the filters. I believe that they are ionized or something aside of bleached or whatnot, but not sure of the full origin on that actual filter. But most has to do with that filter for sure, which is a very special thing.
I
Definitely.
totally agree with you there. The filter is it. Now, many coffee drinkers that watch this show use a K-cup to brew coffee at home. What do you wish they knew about the Chemex that might motivate them to buy and try one?
Uh, it'd kind of be a tough one in a sense until they tasted it. But once you got someone so far into convenience, it might be a little bit harder to tell them that they may have to sit there motivated and add a little bit more integrity to brewing the coffee at that point. But I'd say once someone tasted it, it probably helped their decisions a lot more for sure. But I mean, at that point, it's kind of a tough one. I mean, can't say they make a great cup of coffee by any means, but it's definitely convenient for sure. So
Well, I would say the complexity of a Chemex is what it's like. It's like tasting. It's like to me, it's like watching black and white film and then seeing color. It's just
by
awesome.
far, by far. Oh yeah, no, we all want to see color for sure, totally.
And if someone uses an auto drip machine, I mean, I think even in comparison, you're going to get
I mean,
more.
I use my Technivorm a lot. I like it, but I have to admit, like that's just a brewer at home or something. You wake up at 4 in the morning, 3 in the morning, you can hit it and run. But all day long, I'm brewing Chemex, and at our shop, we pretty much are focused on nothing but Chemex brewing. And I don't know, it's just something about it. It's the nostalgia of it, everything.
Now you've got. I'm sorry.
A good energy.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, yeah. Now you've got the some pretty old vintage ones. What's the oldest one you think you've got?
I have one from 1948, and yeah, it's a little 3 cup, and the little one with I don't have it here, unfortunately. I have it in kind of a glass case now. I kind of took that and put it away from anywhere. It's the old good cork style. It doesn't even have a wood handle. It's just a cork with a little pin on, and it's embossed and everything too. So really nice, definitely really nice. But that one I don't really keep at the shop because I'm a little scared if we have an earthquake, I may lose some stuff up there, and I'm not going to lose that piece.
No, I understand. I noticed the last time we visited, you had some interesting collar designs. I think they were made with recycled surfboards.
Skateboards, actually, definitely.
Skateboards.
Yeah, it's a cool guy. His name's Justin, and Los Angeles, and I actually have one here.
Oh,
We
look at
brew
that.
in this actually big vessel. They stopped making this size probably in about 1975 or 1976. It's got the double dot on them, but conveniently you can brew 2 liters of coffee instead of 16 ounces or 12 at a time. So you're going to get a few more cups out a little quicker, which is nice for sure.
Oh,
But
yeah.
yeah, he started making these, and I believe you can actually purchase them now on the Chemex website.
I've
All from recycled skateboards, and every one are uniquely different, which is awesome.
Very cool. I
So,
I
you know,
would definitely want one of those.
I believe you can order them on the site now, which is awesome. He makes the marble and everything for it.
Awesome.
Super
Yeah, awesome
pieces.
is right. Yeah, very attractive. Now, extra. What's your favorite current coffee to brew with a Chemex? Extra points if you use one that you just might be using in your class on March 6th. We can
Right,
post a
right.
link.
Most of the times, I'm always I'm a pretty big natural coffee freak, and I feel the Chemex filter brings out a lot of illustrious fruits that come out of it. Nice body, so it's going to add about everything you're really looking for in a cup of coffee. And I'd say even at CoffeeCon, we're pretty known for our blueberry coffee, which was pretty much the talk of the show. Hey, do you have the blueberries? Do you have the? Oh, I miss CoffeeCon being live. It was so awesome. Best show ever. Seriously, the best show to come to LA. I promise you that. So it's got to come back.
Well, thank you.
We can all do this. Definitely.
Well,
But
that's so great. Now, when you say blueberry, though, you don't mean a blueberry flavored coffee. I just want everyone to understand.
totally, totally. No, nothing flavored at all. But of course, just a unique processing of a nice natural processed coffee. So it's going to be always nice and fruity. Either some more yogurt chefs have some of a strawberry, but I'm usually stuck on a Gucci when I bring it to the show, and it's just like literally chocolate covered blueberries. You can almost taste the blueberry skin, everything. It's just popping and
I
smoothest coffee on the planet.
I I'll tell you what. I'm going to get a link from you for that. We're going to add that to the so people can order it here. And
Yeah,
my fantasy is they can brew and taste along with you. So when you're doing your class,
for sure.
roll it forward, Pat, a little bit. I just want to. One final question: if someone's thinking about getting a Chemex, and they don't have one right now, what one would you recommend as a starter?
I definitely like. I call it the football. I'm kind of weird. It's not the 3 cup, and it's definitely not the one you have. It's the one right in the middle of that one. I feel that's one of my favorite. I feel for some reason the slurry it brews a little better. Filter you don't have to bend it, you don't have to fold it or create. I mean you can buy the 3, or you can use the regular filter and overbend it. But something about the middle-sized Chemex, just my favorite, and definitely always makes enough for two. So
And it's a larger one than this, or it's a smaller one than this?
I want to say that. Oh no, it's that one. I'm
This
sorry.
is the one,
That's the
isn't
one I
it?
call the football right there.
Yes, this is it. I
Yeah,
know. This is the one
the leader.
I use this with Pat just about every morning. It's my go-to. It's makes the what I consider a 5 cup. I know so it may be called a 6 cup, but it's the actual hand blown one.
Yeah, no, and
And
sorry, I didn't notice. I was like, oh, wait a
yeah,
minute, well, no, that there is
well,
my favorite one right there. That's
yeah.
the one that's on my daily basis every day.
I, me too. Well, that's the one I'm going to
Thank you.
be using to brew your blueberry.
Cool. We'll be
So
brewing it together. That's for sure. I'll
I,
use the same one. I got the same. Oh yeah, and I got almost too many chemics.
let's we need to talk about this offline because my wife's listening right now.
Cool.
I've got a lot of coffee makers, and I think our marriage therapist allowed us 20. I'm allowed 20 in the kitchen.
There you go. I have. Oh yeah. If I don't use them, I at least have them. I'm a coffee collector as well. I love coffee, the culture, everything.
I've got hiding places around this place, that we can.
Big time.
A lot of
They're worth
coffee
it, right?
makers. Thank you again, and I'll do a little pitch for your class, but thank you, Eric Stogsdill, for taking the time out from roasting some great coffee and tooling around in a vintage VW. I got one more question for you. What VW do you have?
It's a 1969 VW Fastback. Yeah, it's one of the Type 3 series, which is a cool
Yes,
car.
that is a great car. Yeah, I know. I used to drive a Bug years ago, driving around the country. Eric will
My
be teaching you the perfect Chemex live on CoffeeCon Online Live event
That'll be
March
bad. I
6th.
can't wait.
Yeah. If you've ever wanted to learn a definitive recipe using the classic vintage American coffee pour over invented in the 1940s, once the brewer of Hollywood, this is your chance. Might be a good time to order one. Plus, remember to order Eric's coffee so that you can brew along with it. We're going to post a link below. Imagine attending CoffeeCon plus enjoying the perfect Chemex brewed Alana's coffee and commenting to the roaster while he's doing the class. And be sure to register for CoffeeCon Online Live today. I've gathered an amazing array of top coffee experts to teach you how to brew and taste coffee. You won't want to miss the legendary inventor of the AeroPress coffee maker, Alan Adler. Mr. Adler will be speaking to us from the Bay Area, Mr. Espresso to be precise. He'll share how he invented the AeroPress and to answer your questions live. Kenneth Davids of the Coffee Review and countless books on coffee will be leading our tasting class. You can taste right alongside him during our tasting presentation. Add your own tasting notes online and ask questions. I have many more classes, including a grinding class with Baratza's Pierce Jens Folkman. You won't want to miss any of it, but you must register to chat with the experts. You must register to win coffee and equipment prizes, including a Chemex, at our legendary coffee drawing. Remember, it's all free to experience, online and live, March 6th. Just register at coffee-con.com. Thanks again, Eric Stogsdill, and I'm Coffee Kevin.
Woo!